Hi everyone, my name is Jen. I'm an instructor here at the Columbia Association, and today we're going to be going through a full body workout for strength training, a little bit of cardio that only depends on some resistance tubing, which is some affordable exercise equipment that you can keep at home and you can even stash in your backpack or your suitcase when you're going on vacation or traveling or staying at home this summer. So wherever you are, wherever you're going, you can feel free to take this workout with you. First off, we're going to start out with a light cardio warm-up just to get the blood flowing. So whatever impact level you choose, whether it's jogging in place, high knees, make sure you're listening to your body and taking things to the intensity that you are feeling comfortable with. From here, we're going to move it out to jumping jacks, which can take place in the air or on the ground if you'd rather step it out. Again, do whatever feels right for you. From our jumping jacks, we can progress this into a little bit of shuffle, working that front plane. And maybe we take it to the side. And you can take your warm-up as long as you like, repeating this one 2 or 3 times through, depending on how warm your body feels today. But we're going to keep this one short so we can get right into that workout. We're then going to move into some range of motion stretches. We never want to put a static stretch at the beginning of a workout. We always want to keep things dynamic to work that range of motion and keep our muscles pliable. Maybe we take it from back to over the top. And we can get in some Frankensteins, kicking to the outside of the leg. Let's go ahead and do 4 per side, just to get those hips warmed up, whether you've been traveling on a plane, sitting at home, sitting in a car. We always want to give a little bit of time to warm up those hip flexors. From there, we can take the hands on the hips, roll it around, loosen anything up in that lumbar spine, anything that's holding on at those hips. And then we'll finally take it into a body weight squat, keeping the chest up, driving the heels down. We'll sit into those heels, press out through them, chest always facing up, face forward. Good. Finding your range of motion, finding what feels comfortable for you. When you're feeling ready and warm, we'll grab a hold of our bands. Be careful, they have a little bit of bounce back. First, we're going to start out with some lateral raises. Stepping on the bands, the shorter you have them, the more resistance you're going to get, so the more difficult it's going to be. We can raise those weights, or raise those tubes away from us, thinking about pushing the deltoids into the biceps. Rather than shrugging up with those neck trap muscles, we're thinking about pushing and raising away. And we're going to take each of these exercises for about 45 seconds with 15 seconds to rest between them. You can feel free to do this circuit 1 time through, or if you have extra time, take it 2 or 3 times through just by restarting the video and skipping that warm-up. All right, we got about 20 more seconds left here. Just warming the shoulders. Now, while we're doing this, let's be conscious of what the rest of our body is up to. Are we bracing the core? Are the knees soft? Are we keeping those shoulders out of the ears? Good. All right, let's go ahead and take that 15-second break. We're going to set it up for some monster walks now to get the lower body moving and warm. In front of you, wrap the bands around your thighs once and bring them around the front, bringing them up to mid-thigh. We're going to take the bands once through the handles and twice through the handles. When we are locked up twice, we're going to sit down into a nice squat with those heels down, hips pushing back, and take 45 seconds of 4 steps to the right and 4 steps to the left. Remembering to keep your chest up, remembering to keep those heels driving into the ground, and keeping the core engaged. So avoiding any unnecessary flexion or arching in the back. We'll take about 15 more seconds on this. Should be starting to feel a burn accumulate in those legs. And 5, 3, 2, 1. Since we've already gone through the trouble of banding up our knees, we're going to do some banded squats here. With those feet about shoulder width apart, shoulders down, chest open. We're going to drive into the heels and resist that feeling of the bands pulling the knees in. So coming here, always pushing against the bands with those knees. Knees should track the toes. So if your toes are facing forward, your knees are facing forward. If you have a slight turnout, those knees should be turned out slightly as well. Now before we add any layers to our squat, we always want to master the basics. Keeping the chest up, hinging those hips back and down, driving through the heels, and engaging the core. You can take these at your own pace, whether it's slow or a little bit fast, whatever tempo is going to work for you today. 5 seconds left. Then we're going to carefully come out of these bands, unlocking them once and twice through the handle until we are stepping on the bands once again. We're going to take a break for that lower body since we did 2 back-to-back exercises and move into a curl and press. So bicep curl, flip the arms and press overhead. Just like with that first exercise, the lateral raise that we started with, we always want to keep the core braced rather than arched out, engaging the core to protect that spine. As we go through these motions, maybe our band's a little bit light for us, maybe it's heavy, and we're challenging ourselves. Regardless of what you're doing, try to make that mind-muscle connection, really by flexing the biceps as you curl up, pinning those elbows to the side, flipping, and then elbows slightly in front of you as you do your shoulder press. We got 5, so let's do one more rep in here. Good. Carefully release that weight with one hand. We're gonna alternate between some reverse lunges and a lateral raise, circling back to that in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. I will switch you through at the halfway point, and a raise, and a raise. So you can take any variation of this. If you're feeling like a front raise, you could raise to the front. You could even alternate the front raise and the side raise. We have about 10 seconds left on this side, and we'll switch sides. 22 seconds on the other side, taking that reverse lunge and a lateral raise, or a reverse lunge and a front raise, and then we can also alternate these as well. This will be our last standing exercise, and then we're going to take our bands down to the mat. Let's get one more rep in here. All right, taking those bands, let's go ahead and bring it down to the mat. We're going to do our wrap around once again, wrapping on top of the thighs, underneath them, and then again, make sure you lock the bands, taking it once and twice through the handles. Alrighty, we missed our cue, so we're gonna start in 5 seconds. Tuck that tailbone underneath you, and let's go for some glute bridges here. Now, while we're down in this glute bridge, if we're feeling any pain in that low back, I want you to think about scooping out your belly button and tucking your hips underneath you so that you concentrate this work in the hamstrings and the glutes, and you take any undue pressure out of that low back. Got another 20 seconds out up here, and then we're gonna flip it over and hit a little bit of upper body. Good, 15 seconds left. So we have these bands here, and I want you to continually press your knees out against them. Don't let those knees come in. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Good, let's grab onto the knees, rock it over. Keep that bind for a little bit. We're going to do a push-up and leg abduction combo. So whether you do these on the knees, tabletop, or toes is up to you, but we always want to keep a neutral spine. So we'll take that push-up to full depth as possible, step it out gently to the side, feeling that abduction motion, take a push-up through the center, step it out to the side, feeling that in the glutes and the outside of the thighs. Now again, you can modify onto the knees, and you can still feel that abduction. Modifying onto the knees, taking the abduction. This can also be done from a tabletop position. You'll just hit that chest a little bit different, stepping it out and in, taking that push-up, stepping it out and in. Choosing whichever level of challenge is speaking to you today. Let's do one more rep per side. All right, finally we're gonna end up with some core. So for me, I find that having the bands around my legs and constantly pushing out helps me to engage my abs and press my low back into the spine, or my low back into the mat. We're gonna just end with some standard crunches here, taking 30 seconds through the center and keeping that constant pressure against the bands. Pushing out with those knees to help us feel this a little bit deeper in our core, to help us continuously pull that belly button towards the spine. We're gonna round this out with 15 seconds of oblique crunches with those knees to the right, 15 seconds of the oblique crunches with the knees to the left. Let's roll it over here. Squeezing on the side of the abs, and remembering to keep that chin out of the chest. We are crunching with our abs rather than with our chin. All right, and let's gently roll this over to the left, 15 seconds. Oblique crunches on the left to finish out. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to the center, grab onto those knees and rock up. We're gonna carefully unwind our bind really quick. So again, we went twice through the handles, and we'll come back out twice through the handles. Band safely aside. So that was a quick little 10-minute circuit. If you want to have a 20-minute workout, you can do that twice through. If you want to do a full 30-minute workout, you can do that twice through. The bands are super, super versatile. And if you want to do that in studio with a little bit of heavier weights, we do have CA Strong offered at all 3 of our health clubs, all through the summer and into the fall.